Alright, welcome back to my channel, people. Hopefully more people get involved and get interested in looking at what I'm doing. I'm not being negative, I'm staying quite positive on this situation. Back on another aspect of Blast Online. Unleashed. Actually, at this point in time, I'm using my daughter's character because she doesn't really like to play this that much, so I'm like, that's fine. Aspect that I'm kicking in here, actually, I like the Ranger. Ranger can do a lot of damage where, you know, if you're playing as a Crusader or anything else, you gotta get up close and personal. Other than the priest and the mage. But right now I'm just gathering stuff and just doing regular BS quests that, you know, will actually up your experience, but at the same time you're gonna gather things you need. But what I learned in this game, man, it's about revisiting everything and doing it all over again to get the experience and, you know, get stuff you really don't need that you can break down. Sometimes you get fortification, stones and everything else, so it works out pretty good. Because believe me, people, even if you download this for free, I mean, you're gonna have to grind. Really grind to get up in level the way you want to be. And there's nothing wrong with that because I like that about this game. And I like that about anything that's going to be an MMO, that you're going to have to grind to get there. Keeps you interested. We get a lot of people that roll into an MMO and they don't understand the aspect of playing it and what you have to do. Then I heard some good news that Final Fantasy 14 is coming to Xbox, so I'm gonna do some clips on that also. I'm gonna show many others as well too. But I've always been a Final Fantasy fan, so I love it. And I like this game too. It's no different than when we're talking about playing Black Desert. I like playing that, which I haven't made no clips on that. Haven't played it for a little while, but I'm gonna fire it up too. I like playing Phantasy Star Online too. That's a damn good game. It's interesting, even as old as it is, people love to play it too. So then it goes into the aspect of playing old games. Are they that bad? Think about it, people. Just saying. this. I mean, my daughter, I put my 360S in her room and she likes to play on that. And her game that she likes to play is Kingdoms of Amalera, The Reckoning, or KAR. And that's a damn good game by EA. So I can't crash on that. It's actually pretty damn good. She likes to play that one, which is good because it gives her, she's learning the skills of how to play that game, which she can apply to any MMO. You know, that one, I mean, it's pretty much closed because even if you're playing it, a lot of people aren't playing it as a straight open world, but it wasn't set up that way. But it's an old game. But even I like playing that myself. It's sort of a mixture of playing Fable and everything else, so what can you crash on that? Nothing, because I mean you got some devastating weapons in that game that you could sit here and build up even better. But after all that, I mean, I like playing this game. This isn't bad at all. So I don't, you know, if it gets a bad rap, that's ridiculous. Like I said, it's a mixture of playing an MMO plus Dragon Age because it's set up on that aspect. Truth is, when games like this, yeah, you're gonna have to build it up. When that Final Fantasy 14 comes out on the Xbox, I'm gonna download that one and send some footage on that. I've never played that before, so I guess we're gonna roll it as a new gamer, playing something he's never tried, and I'm just gonna put that out there for everybody so that you can see what I'm doing. And yeah, I'll figure it out. I always figure it out. And that's just how it's played. If you're playing an MMO and you're not learning, I mean, well, shit. Then there's no purpose in putting footage out there. But there's gonna be plenty of people out here who's never played it either, and we're all going to learn something and enjoy it all in the end. But those of you that are viewing, if you're gonna sit there and get on something, yeah, Final Fantasy Online 2 is a very good game. Everybody should get involved in that too. You know, it's also a grind, but I wouldn't want to play an MMO that's not a grind. It ain't about nothing if you're not grinding. You understand? If you're grinding to get the best weapons, the best gear, the best look, well then you're doing something. No, make no mistake, out of all these games, of course, you may have to buy skins and shit like this, but I always look at it this way. I think that most companies should actually put it out for free. If your product's that good, like I said once before, people don't have a problem spending $20 here or $40 there, or even $50 or even more. Because if they like the game, they'll spend the money to get it. So I put it this way. If you put it out there, you get 3 or 4 million subscribers, and they're gonna play it, and they're gonna put some money into it. Well, then you're gonna make bankroll anyway. Probably make it better than sitting here sending out the title. It's incomplete, which it seems to be a standard in this market these days. Incomplete games, and that's bullshit. What you're trying to do is you're trying to compete with these other games and say yours is the best, and yet it's incomplete. That's ridiculous. No, I don't think any company should put out an incomplete game. It's my personal aspect, because if you're asking somebody to shell out $50 or $60, I mean, come on, man. It should be on par. You should have worked out the bugs. That's why I like a lot of games have come out that they have the problems with keeping people on board, because I mean, you already charged X, Y, Z amount of dollars, but your shit ain't up to par. That'd be like, I mean, I'll tell you, it's my profession. I'm an automotive mechanic. It'd be like me sitting here saying I'm gonna put XYZ parts on your car that's not gonna fix it. And we're gonna keep on milking it the best we can. And it's not right. We shouldn't do shit like that. No one should. So why should people, you know, pay for an incomplete product? And I know what it is. I mean, everybody wants to hang in the market and keep rolling like as is, but that's wrong. Because the consumer gets fucked over. And I don't mean to be so blunt, but I'm just saying. You don't do stuff like that. If you're gonna take pride in your product, well then you need to make sure it's up to par and up to the standard. Don't sit there and put it out there half-ass. That's all I'm saying. Because honestly, you know, if you want your viewers and your people to sit here and play, it's not right to put it out half-ass. It's wrong. And in the end, you may lose those people. They could be potential customers, but they're not going to do that. That idea is ridiculous. It should be. I mean, shit. These people are designing these games and these companies are pushing it. I mean, would you... Just saying. As far as everybody playing this game, you need to go ahead and gather as much stuff as possible. Not suggest gathering all these roots and shit like this, because you're gonna want to build potions. You're gonna need it. Anybody that plays this game thinks otherwise, well, you're in the wrong. You need it. Because it takes time to sit here and grind and build your or the girl up, it doesn't matter. It takes a lot of time to do it. And you want to sit here and gather up as much stuff as possible. Make as many potions as possible. Even if you look in my bag of stuff, these are the easiest ones to make. You want to build as many of them as possible, and then on top of that, as you get better at crafting your potions, then you can start making your blue ones, the potions of recovery 3, and you want to do that. As far as all your materials, well, if you're using the ranger, which is an archer, you want leather scrap to make that happen. This cloth shit is for your mages and things that, otherwise Sometimes you have certain things that your ranger can engineer. But you may need some cloth, or you may need iron ore, or silver. Once you get to that point, because I mean, I got my one character as a crusader, and yes, I use silver ore to sit there and build something that I want. You'll definitely salvage things you're not going to use. You can put them in the market, but the hell with that. You're gonna want the stuff off of this, so you can, let's say, let's take a look here. Skills. Of course, you want to build titles, which is great. Once your login rewards, sometimes they give you good stuff, but actually they definitely give you good stuff, so you want to save it. I'm sorry if I'm scattered, I'm just trying to find a few things. But here in this game, you want to find some missions to sit here and boost up your experience. Keep it in mind. They're here on the left, but you use your left stick, joystick. Sit here and see how much gold you got. Star seeds, which every day you log on, you're trading gold to get that. Breaking down your material, break down certain weapons, certain armor. You're gonna get your artifact core, your artifact shard. Sentinel credits and all this other shit happens as you go up into the game. Those recovery scrolls are very important, so you want to save as many of them as possible when necessary. Sentinel credits, Aristian credit, court credit. Well, that's all about, you know, the house that you're gonna join. That I'm Talking about your unions. This is where that comes into play. Now I've got unions rolling. Excuse me for a second. Once you unlock your unions, you get special perks from these cats, so that works out good. But the things that you're looking for that keep, you know, reappearing on the game board is like, you know, you want to look for stuff like this, the Deadly Nomad, Blades in the Sand, because these keep regenerating every other day or every day. After you log off, they'll regenerate again. That works out good for you because you can sit there and get experience that you need. Doesn't matter what they're really dishing out because that doesn't matter. The point is you want the experience to get your character leveled up as best as you can. Mess around, somebody else will get involved. Like so. against some of these mini bosses. You can pick up something pretty good, give or take. That's why you see people that are pretty high level pull them back in here every now and again. That's what you want to do. On all aspect, man, the graphics in here are actually pretty nice. But I'm playing this on the Xbox One X, which is actually, it handles it pretty well. New generation 5G DDR5 can't crash on that. Most of your computers are coming out on that. The new one is GDDR6. It's a whole nother motherboard and the whole 9 yards. But I'm gonna be on Xbox One X for a little while, so don't fret. You can handle it, but I'm not sitting here rolling 4K. Still doing it in 1080p. Which looks just as nice. Anything to tell you about 4K, like, well, 4K is better. It can be to a point, but truthfully, the human eye only sees like 60 frames per second, so we can comprehend this visually. Handle. So anything that goes beyond that, like they say 8K, well, 8K is a waste of your time because you'll never truly see that. I don't give a damn how sharp your eyes are. Only people see to a certain percentage, and then after that, well, that doesn't matter. And plus, what people don't understand, like, to even roll your graphics in 4K, literally roll it in 4K. Slow down your machine. Because even as strong as your system is, whether the game system or your PC, you want a higher load. From your system, no matter what it is, it's gonna slow it down to produce those clean graphics. And to be honest, even as I'm playing this shit on 1080p, it's pretty clean. I asked if people want more and more. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with more. Just the simple fact is, your system's going to handle so much. You want to be better than that? Well, always remember this. I'm just gonna say this as a standard. Celeron processing is one of the most devastating processes on a graphics card. And it still holds the title as being overclocked beyond a lot of everything else. So it was tight. Strong. It just was that devastating.
Take your time. Have a look around.
And we went to Pentium 4 and 5 and every damn thing else. Those cards are pretty nice, but you can't crash on AMD. AMD has come a long way. If people don't believe it, then think about it. Your PlayStation 5 and your Xbox Series X are running AMD graphics or AMD CPU cards. Think about that for a minute. Now the only aspect is this. What these new systems are going to bring out, I'm not crashing. They're going to be pretty good. They're going to hold pretty well. You're going to have your TV that has at least 120 hertz or more to utilize it. Then if you do that, well, think about it. The more juice you're going to roll out there, then you're still going to sit there. You may game in 4K on these systems, but you're not going to be pushing 120 frames like they said you are. That's bullshit. I'll also be honest. It might roll at 60 frames per second, which will still look nice. Because even with PCs that you build, you can get there, but it's still the same aspect. You're still rolling maybe 60 frames per second or 50. Even when you overclock it, it's still going to be in the same range of stuff. So people need to be aware. Actually, I think 4K can be your max to roll things. People should leave it at 4K. Because like I said before, 8K, no one can see 8K. Our eyes are not that great. I mean, animals in the kingdom that can see something in 8K would be like cats and dogs. They're registering so much shit at one time that it's coming to them in slow motion. That's just how their eyesight works. They're seeing it beyond your perception. And to be honest, if you could see like that, holy shit. It could be great or it could be a pain in the ass, because you think about it. If you're seeing things that in that kind of definition, to you, it's rolling in so slow motion. To the rest of the world, it's moving by fast. It's not moving by that damn fast. Thing is how you process it, or how your mind processes it. But you think about dogs and cats, man, they got more cones in the eyeball that process so much more shit than what we do. And cats, when you think about all cats and even big cats, man, they have terrible eyesight in the daytime. But at night, they process so much more. Because their eyes are made to take in light, small portions of it, and use it to their advantage. And it makes sense why they're nocturnal animals. No more than plenty of animals that are in the animal kingdom that are nocturnal. Now when it comes to primates, gorillas, monkeys, chimpanzees, orangutans and shit like that, well, they see things more on our aspect. Receptacles in their eyes are the same as ours, and that's what they see. They're not night hunters. I think you can train yourself to see better at night and use that. You could. And, you know, it just takes time to adjust, but if you adjust long enough, yeah, you could do some things.
I've been expecting you.
I feel fortune is in my favor today.
The true aspect is this. Yeah, if you're a PC gamer and you're building it up to par, most PC gamers are doing 1080p or 1080p HD or 1440p, which is nice because that gives you widescreen aspect. Can't crash on 1440. That's actually pretty crisp. I have friends that game in that. And how can you crash on it? It's pretty nice. When we get past that, we start talking about 4K. Wow. I love that damn shotgun blast. Now, the thing that I do know about your arrow users or your rangers is this. If you can sit here and you pick up the right set of quills or quivers, you can sit here and have more arrows in your arsenal, which I'm going to work on that. So all those are viewing, be patient. I'm working on it. I don't know, I may take this one and take her to end game. Just for the simple fact, I just like using arrows. And to be honest, if it, anybody watching my channel, if you want to know what I like to use in all MMOs, is this. Either I like to use jokers that use big swords or shields in between that, or range characters. And what I mean by range characters are characters that use guns or they use bows. That seems to be where I'm comfortable at and what I like to use. Now in games I can use mages and shit like that. I'm not a mage user. Just being honest, because I like to use what I'm comfortable with. And mage users can do some devastating things, you know, all across all platforms, even into the Final Fantasies or the Dragon Age shit or anything else. You know, even Phantasy Star Online. You can, but I don't like to use mages. That's just not my deal. That's not my MO, say. So either I like to use people that do very much DPS, or they do DPS at range, but that's where I like to stick to. And then generally I can run with players that use the other aspects of the spectrum, and that's alright. And even in some games I like to use tanks, because that's also part of my MO. And that's just how I am. I figure that you shouldn't change from what the hell you're comfortable with. You utilize those skills and make it strong as hell. And you get up with other people and you can all be on the same board. And that works out better. Anything otherwise, I mean, don't go with what you're not comfortable with. I mean, you can experiment with things. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying that you can't do it. But if it's not what suits you, then don't. So my advice to people that play in these games is you go what suits you. What you're comfortable with. What you're comfortable with is better. And you can roll with other people that are comfortable with other aspects and skills, and it'll work out just fine. You know what you need to do as your character. You know where to be at to make it happen. You know what to do with your timing to make that happen. So you go with what you're used to. And there's lots of people, like all the way back to World of Warcraft, that have harnessed the skills of playing mage, and there's nothing wrong with being a mage. I just don't do mage. It's not my skill set. And it never was. Which isn't bad, that's just not what I do. Even I go all the way back to Final Fantasy 2 or some of these other games I played, where you could be a mage. I never was a mage. That's just not my skill set. No purpose in changing it now. But if you want to experiment, so be it. If you're a better mage in certain games versus others, then fuck it, go with it. It's just that that's not where I was ever comfortable with, so I never rolled really on being a mage. Hell, if you really want to go into aspect, it's no different than playing Destiny. I was never really fond of the Warlock, but the Warlock can be devastating in Destiny. It's just not my skill set. So I was always better with Titan, or it's better with the Hunter. That's just where I like to be at. That's where my balance is. And it always has been, and that's just how I am. And so either but you know, Destiny is a whole different aspect because everybody can roll with the same gun. I just like the things that the Titan or the Hunter can do versus being the Warlock. It's simple. It wasn't no damn different than playing Black Desert. I don't have any mage type characters. I don't use them because that's not where my skill set is. And I think in most games, or all games out here, you go where your skill set's comfortable. And that's where you're going to be your best and be useful when you roll with others. If you're not used to playing as other aspects other than a tank, or you're not used to playing as a mage or healer or any of this other stuff, I'm not crashing that you can't develop those skills, but if those aren't really your skill set, then why would you go that path? My aspect is it's the luck of the draw. You're gonna run into people that have those skill sets, man, that can roll with you. and you can make a difference in what you're strong in. Yeah, I guess, and what people don't understand about gaming is you do what is proficient for you. And if you master that proficiency, then you can be an asset to everyone else that you play with. And that's where your proficiency is. Excuse me for a second. I guess what I'm saying throughout the years of gaming and stuff and my experience, even online gaming and stuff with others, is that this people who are proficient at what they like to play as, man, always just, you know, they're good. It's a better party when you roll it that way. Now, don't get me wrong, you get people out there that can master everything, but the truth is, their best proficiency comes with the classes that they're used to playing with. So let's put it this way: if you got people that are very devastating playing as a mage on any MMO, well, that's their devastation point. That's what they're good at. Even though they can go out here and they can master everything else and get it up to par and shit and make a change to it, what's not their preferred? I mean, it wouldn't be no damn different than when you sit here and you look at that game Overwatch. That's a better prime example. You know, you got characters in there tanks, you got characters in there DPS, and you got characters in there that are more healers versus DPS and shit like this. And then you have people in there that are ranked up in the highest ranks that are either a DPS character, a tank character, or more of a healer. Well, they might have jumped up and mastered the rest of the characters in Overwatch, but their strongest characters they really focus on are either going to be their tanks, their DPSs, or their healers. So it just tells you what it is. Even though they've learned to use all these other characters, they still like to revert back to what they're really strong at. So when you think about it, it's like life. If you're sitting here, put it this way, if you put it on practical application as us as people, let's look at it this way. You have people that are devastating snipers. You have people that are devastating close quarters, and then you have people that are absolutely outstanding medics. And that would be looking at it as a military point of view. If you want to have a full team, you got to have a medic that's good. You got to have a sniper that's devastating. You got to have people that are very good at close quarters. It's called the balance. then that's why special op teams work so well. You have balance. And special op teams range from Delta Force to Navy SEALs to, you know, British Special Forces, Israeli Special Forces, the Mossad, and all this other shit. But either way, you got cats in there that are good at certain skill sets, very fucking proficient. That's what makes the team devastating. You gotta have people that are proficient in certain aspects of it. You may have your cat that's absolutely nothing more than electronics and what they handle. Tapping into cameras, tapping into satellites, whatever. That's what they're good at. You have others that are devastating at being snipers. They're good at taking people out from long range. They're good at that. Cover, or you know what you would look at from the, I guess, the 1980s movie or 90s movie, Navy SEALs with Charlie Sheen, all them motherfuckers in it. You have your fucking sniper that's God, and that's what he does. He posts up in high points and takes shit out, so teams can roll. Same aspect, even in the gaming world. You got people that are good at certain things, are very devastating at it, and that's what they do. Yeah, everybody else brings up the rear, whatever their skill set is and what makes them strong. That makes a good team. If you roll as a team, don't try and be something else that you're not. It's a waste of your time. No point. There's no point in there. You do what you do best. But that's just my point as far as gaming in general. You do what you're strong at. What you're strong at can roll everything else and bring up the rear for everyone else. That's the way to do it. If people don't sit here and argue and think otherwise, well, you're crazy, because truth is, this is how all of these games are set up. All of them. Aspect of this game. You got people that are devastating Crusaders and Berserkers. You got people that are devastating mages and priests. You got people that are devastating at being the ranger. That's what they prefer. That's what they built up. That's what they were making. It's no different than me. I mean, you know, my aspect is this: either I'm going to be a fighter, which would be a Crusader or Berserker, or I'm going to be a ranged character. It's going to be like the ranger. Those skill sets are what I like to use. You can sit here and build another character. It's going to be a mage character, but that's not my deal. Now I can use it, and I can be proficient at it, but it's still not my deal. That's not my best suit. when this Final Fantasy 14 comes out to Xbox, the characters I'll probably use something like massive DPS would be like ninjas, paladin, or even Black Knight. With Dark Knight I could do that. Or samurai. It would take this a lot of people to choose from. Or maybe range like the gunner. I would want to use the gun blade. Things like that. More to my MMO. What I like that they have in Final Fantasy 14 is got the Red Mage. Red Mage, still DPS, with swords and shit like that. Plus you can use spells to heal. I can roll on that. It's close to what I would like to deal with. And I can make that happen pretty easily. I'm just being honest. I could use something on that aspect. Yeah, I'm not wrong. This is where I'm at.
I've got some good stuff here.
I feel fortune is in my favor today.
I think in this game, I think the Ranger is a pretty devastating character. I think all characters in this game are devastating. But that shotgun blast is nasty, people. I'm telling you. my aspect in this game is I'm trying to reach end game. I'm gonna keep rolling it until I get there. So if you're watching me, I appreciate it. Appreciate the likes.
bathtub.
I'm on duty now.
Take your time. Have a look around. See anything you like? I've got some good stuff here.
I've got some good stuff here.
Take your time. Have a look around.
I feel fortune is in my favor today.
you